Yeah, this your boy A and my boy Deb. Deb in the studio over there. See my boy Deb over there. He's doing his thing, you know what I'm saying? Putting up some funky tracks. Yeah, that's right. I'm still here. What's up, Luke? I ain't mad at you. I love you, baby. I vote for your ass, you know? I voted for your black ass, you black perverted fucking ass.
There you go.
I mean, I figure you're just as fucked up as the rest of them motherfuckers. Crook's a crook, you know? I know your crook ass.
There you go. You got your pretty life.
Okay, there we go. All right, yeah, there we go. There we go.
There you go.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy A, a.k.a. Amos Larkins, a.k.a. Leon Green, a.k.a. Lonzo Lewis. Oh, what the fuck? We're not getting into all that shit. But I'm over here with my boy, Deb. He's over here. What's up, Deb?
Right here.
In the studio doing our Miami thing. That's right. We're still here doing our thing, believe it or not.
Booming.
You'd be surprised what we're doing, too. We won't get into that. What else I should say?
So Amos, why don't you tell us a little about how you got started in making beats and the electro era and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, how I got started a long time ago was my father, my mother. They were into the music business. My father was a manager for certain acts. This place called TK Records, and a guy named Henry Stone. And make a long story short, my father used to take me there every day. Just come with your bass. I used to be a bass player. Come with your bass. Come with your bass. Come with your bass. Came every day. One day, I saw Henry. I said, Henry, can I have 15 minutes of your time? He said, 15 minutes? Everybody's begging for 1 minute. You want 15? I said, yes, sir. So anyway, he gave me. So anyway, I started hanging around, and then that place, something happened to the place. They went out of business. So I started hanging out with the Bee Gees, you know. And am I making this too long?
No.
So you know, I started hanging out with Henry, started doing a little music, started learning around. And I don't know if you guys heard of this producer engineer called Ann Holloway, but I'm sure you've heard of Bobby Caldwell. I was assistant engineer on a lot of that stuff, that old stuff, that Bobby Caldwell stuff, a lot of Foxy. I was her assistant engineer. I learned how to engineer from some very, very good guys who done like a lot of platinum records and stuff like that. And then they went out of business for a while. And I left that and I started hanging around this guy named Seth Snyder. He used to build consoles. So we used to hang out and we were all potheads. Is that cool to say that?
Yeah, please.
We were potheads. We were fucking getting high as hell. As a matter of fact, he had a warehouse full of pot. He was growing this shit, you know. And we used to patch up the light holes. That's how I was cool with him at that, you know. He used to, when the light would stream out, we patch it up. Make sure everybody didn't know what was going on, you know. Had these great buds. He would build boards. So one day the Bee Gees came over with this thing called a DX7, and they didn't know how to read the manual. So they left it there. So one night I grabbed it, because I used to work in the studio and do music, and you know, I grabbed it and I was able to read the manual. So the next day when the Bee Gees came through, I said, oh, that's easy. I said, I read it, because the Japanese used to write manuals back then, and fucking if you knew how to really read, like you read real grammar in America, that shit would fuck you up. But see, I didn't know how to read real grammar, so I didn't give a fuck. So anyway, that led to me hanging out in the Bee Gees studio. That's when I made a record by the name of Double Deuce. I met some Latin guys, and a couple of guys. They were really cool, and we did this record called Double Deuce. So I took it. So the Bee Gees, they had all this equipment in their studio. They big room full of equipment, and it'd be like, I said, let's say, well, we don't know what to do with all this shit. I said, well, can I use some at night? And that's how I used to make records, you know. That's when rap just started coming out. So anyway, I took that to Henry, to a guy named Freddie Stonewall. He said, wow, that's great, come on over. So that's how the electro, that's when the electro, because what I would do is, in Seth's place, I would put stuff together, and Joe Galdo would leave his equipment over, and people like Crosby, Steele, and Nash would be recording. They have all the equipment there. I go in at night, and a guy like Joe Granda would come by and say, hey, hello, how you doing? I got this act, and I'm doing this movie, I want you to do a record. That's what we did FBI. We did FBI like that, too. I don't know if you ever heard of it. These are records I see that people are collector's items. Mm-hmm. So we did FBI that way, you know. I used to do it at night. I used Joe Galdo's drum syndromes, and I would use the Bee Gees DX7, and I would use use it like at the time, state-of-the-art MCI 48 channel something with all of this other shit. And I just knew how to maneuver stuff. I wasn't really too technical. And I would maneuver it, and Seth would come in and make sure the levels weren't, okay and everything, and just make a record. You know what I'm saying? I did Peter Rock the same way. Peter Rock, FBI Crew, all that shit was the same time. And so then getting back to Double Deuce, I made that record over at the BG Studio. They didn't know what to fucking do with the shit. They didn't understand it. So I would get like Fairlights and Synclaviers, and that's how I come with the Double Deuce, 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 double. I think I was one of the first ones to do the stuttering shit. Come to think about it.
Like sampling a vocal and hitting
Yeah,
in there and stuff like that?
yeah, because nobody was doing that shit. Nobody, and BG's had all this equipment, fucking studio. I drag the shit out at night as long as you put it back up. I drag it up. I'd be up all night, every night, like just fucking around. So, I met these Cuban dudes, these Latin dudes from New York, which was the Double Deuce crew on the set. I said, come on, man, let's go over and fucking. I was working at Seth's place and the BG's place. I said, let's go over to the fucking studio and all this shit and let's make some records. Made Double Deuce. They didn't like it. BG's didn't like it. I took it to a guy named Freddie Stonewall. They put it out. We sold like 40,000 copies in like 2 months or some shit in Florida. I never saw the money, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? It was good. I saw the records. I used to sneak into Henry's office and see the records from the distributors. That's how I knew. But anyway, then that's when Henry's came to me and said, hey, you know what, son? You can make a lot of money doing this. I said, yeah, cool. I didn't even like rap. I just did rap because Joe Galdo was doing it, and I said it was getting popular. Let me just do it. I really wanted to make a living doing this. Just do something to make a living. I figured rap was happening. Why not fucking do it? I was a jazz major. I was a jazz bassist. I studied with Jaco Pastorius when I was a kid. I was like young, very young, and also I got accepted at the U of M from just playing. They would have somebody admitted me to audition, and I got accepted like that. But I refused it. But I did hang around and all that kind of stuff. Long story, but anyway, that's when Henry told me when I made the Double Deuce record and it sold a lot. They said you can make a lot of money doing this. That's when I started doing a lot of rap records. And I met a guy named Disco Joe. Not many people talk about him. Disco Joe played a major influence in what I did as far as my music because I didn't even listen to it. I was into some other shit. You know what I'm saying? I was into jazz. You know. But I had to make a living, so I knew I had to do some kind of commercial thing. So Joe would give me these records to listen to because Henry had a distribution. He had a distribution company right there. So all the stuff that was selling, all we had to do is put it out of the racks and check it out and see what was happening. So I used to do my research like that. I would do my research on whatever the salespeople say what was selling, and then I would and Disco Joe would say, hey man, you know what? This record right here is really hot, man. Just check it out. And then I'll put 1 and 1 is 2, bam, 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 and that's how it happened. You know, and basically that went on for a while. I'll be honest with you, for lack of better terms, I'm not sure if I'm using the right terminology, but the chronology, the timing on all that shit, I can't tell you that shit. I don't remember. Unless I hear, unless you tell me a record, I'll know.